Hi.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing?
Morning. Everything fine. How was your weekend? Weekends?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Not anything special, but it was really okay. Doing some sport. We had on Sunday shot English as well. Like enjoying the time as well as enjoying today and any other days.
Cool. By the way, did you visit yesterday lesson at 4 p.m.
Not really.
With Matt said that he invited a new some group from Vietnam.
I guess it might be interesting with people, with Asian people from Vietnam.
Yeah.
Maybe they are more active than Ukrainians.
Maybe. I think I will visit next lesson with these people.
You mean today?
No, with Vietnamese people, he hold a lesson on Tuesday and Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
2 days per week. So
Okay.
it will tomorrow.
Okay, maybe it's good idea to try it.
Yeah. I think it's another experience and another. Maybe we can know something new, and not just in English, in general, about his life, about them life, something.
Mm-hmm. Their life, you mean?
Yeah, about their life and their culture.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have never been in some Asian countries.
Asia?
Asia countries.
Asian countries.
Asian countries. In Asian countries. It's pretty interesting for me. Before quarantine, we planned to visit China. It was in February, no, in January. And after that started this disease and quarantine, and everything broke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe China was not the top countries for visiting. I mean, this year.
Yeah, this year definitely. I think we maybe if will be everything okay, we can visit this country in 1 year or maybe 2 years. Not early.
Or you can skip this country and choose another one.
But I think in another country, it's not the better situation than in China. It's the same, I think. And all our traveling, we stopped all our traveling, and I think we stopped for 1 year because I don't think so that we will have opportunity to visit some countries in half year, because it's not dangerous, but it's uh, but it in, it can lead to some problems with hosting, with people who live there, and I don't know. It's not a comfortable situation for me, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess like hotels are going to be much cheaper than that usually.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. But still, we have some problems. Maybe if, special if I heard about that some countries want to provide some passports for people who make прививки. I don't know how to say.
Vaccine or
Vaccine, yeah,
injection.
who, yeah, who made injections and who had coronavirus before traveling, and they decided what kind of people safe for their country, what kind of people not. And it's, I think it's not comfortable when you try to get as tourist, and you should prove that you cannot bring some disease in their country.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And but by the way, did you like checked if there are any countries that are like already opened the borders?
I didn't check, but I heard about Poland, but we have some problem with we cannot go abroad from our country because they prepared some special requirements for people who want to go abroad,
Mm-hmm.
our country.
Okay, so if anyone wanna come to Ukraine, yeah.
No. If anyone want come out from Ukraine, for our people, we cannot go abroad as usual. We should we should prepare some additional documents, and we should they make it more difficult to go abroad for our citizens, our government.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what about people who come to our country.
Mm-hmm.
But
But do like foreigners have any kind of possibility to enter Ukrainian borders?
oh, sorry, you stuck for a little bit. For a bit.
Yeah, I mean Ukrainian for Ukrainian people.
Yeah.
Foreigners have any possibility to come to Ukraine or not really?
I don't know. I don't know because I decided that in half year I definitely uh, will not go any countries and any other nation. But and I didn't watch the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Anatoly.
Hi, everybody.
What's new?
Yesterday I have practice and speak with Vietnam.
Oh,
Yes. Met find some group and that was very interesting.
oh. Tell to us how it was.
That was very strange because they don't speak on English. 3 person know English but badly, and other people stay and not speak. And that is very interesting because different accent and um, very hard to communicate. Same as you feel themselves when you go to another country and try to say something on their language.
So you explain to them your opinion with fingers.
No, not on fingers, but we use translator and to share screen, share screen and write on translator, and at once they see on their language natural words, and that was very interesting practice. That my practice how I speak with another people when I go to another country, for example, from Spain, and I use same practice translator and speak to the phone, and after that to present what I want.
Cool.
Igor, what you want to speak today? Because today group two same 4 person.
Any topics, guys? Any topics that we wanna discuss? So we can have like talking about startups. We can talk about dreams. Anything, guys. So just to have, it's up to us to decide. If we have like common topics that really interesting to us, let's do it. No limitations.
Because that video about Vdut was very interesting, and now that is popular to say own reactions on Vdut video, and many vloggers, many famous businessmen to write about this video, and we have so many different opinions, and very interesting how about one good topic another minds creates.
But by the way, let's discuss. Let's suppose that we are bloggers.
For example,
Cool.
I saw yesterday Rybakov from Russia. That is famous businessman, and he tell some opinion about video, and said that yeah, that is one side video who's present only good life in Silicon Valley, but he don't say about all negative moments about sex, about drugs, and another ways how these people spend money, and about startups. And he present only good vision. How we, what about we must dreams? And yes, I agree with Rybakov that that was one vision, but for me that is a good vision, because we know many negative aspects of the life, and why we must do so on this information, because we know about these aspects, and about businesses who's closed, and not and about 95% of startups who's closed, and for me that was motivation video, and another side of our reality, yeah, that you can find money, you can to launch your idea, your business, and this business can grow, and that motivate me. But about Rybakov motivation, I was, after this video, I wasn't motivated, and only started thinking about negative aspects of the life in Silicon Valley, and in our usual life. For example, in Ukraine, for our businesses, our businessmen, and yeah, we have two same practice about launch business, and in our country only 1% businesses can launch and growing. That's all.
Good.
What about you, Igor?
Regarding Dude video,
Yeah.
okay, so for me it looks too fancy. It's like people are talking about how life is good, how they're happy, and etc. But I know like more like some real cases when you really started your business from like from a garage, yeah, when you started only in two people, one was programmer, another was like just patient about this idea, then trying different validating this idea several times, and after a while trying one idea, then finding some potential smart money, finding some money from relatives, then smart money, then took some developers, propose them share some shares of company, some options in order for them not to leave the company, and then like receiving money, and then becoming one of the like top startups, growing startups, I mean.
Has anyone tried to organize some startup?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
How
Can
it
you
was?
share?
Yeah. Can you share how
About
it was?
startups?
Yeah. You know, when I tried, I first came across with the problems that I didn't have in that time. I didn't have idea for the startup, and I can create some team, and I can understand all process inside. But if you don't have idea for it, it all doesn't matter.
Maybe this, or maybe you don't have money. We have three problems: money, people, and time. You can spend time for idea. And that is usual works in every business. For my
Yeah, but with
yeah,
yeah.
continue.
But with money you can manage it because steps if you need some software for your startup. We talk about IT startups, and you can have deal with your partners and your other team members that they have some part of this startup in the future when this startup will grow some uh, for some size and will bring some money. And it can solve some problems with people and with money.
We have some idea that was maybe not idea, that was a working model whose we start to use in our business. When we create a database on MSQL coding, and that was only backside backend, and that was tables and without good pictures, and that was good relevant if you change one S, one C, or 1S.
Yeah.
And for that time when we launched this idea, 1S was offline, only works on the computer, and you must download on every computer, and all information was not synchronized. And that was a big problem for businesses, and we create a platform with database whose you launch download all information, and this information was synchronizing in every offices, every places.
I think it was
same.
pretty long time ago.
That was 2013 year.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was about IT, my experience. And yeah, this start working at once, and we sell some propositions for another people. They pay for us, for example, from 20 to 40 100 grivnas for months for one shop, for one magazine shop. And this start works, but we start selling this idea for people who works with telecommunications, with gadgets, and we create for themselves this idea, and after that start sell for another people. And when we start sell this idea, we understand that many another people want to change something. We must adapt this to another people. And in this time, we don't know anything about grants, only about money whose you find from investors or from another businesses. And we take to this idea own monies, and to find some partners for this idea. But after 2 years, we close it because two person whose was creators whose write code say bye, we go to another countries, we have contract, and we haven't time to continue this project. If you don't want to pay for us extra money, we want to go. If you want, we can take you this code for money and you can continue, but we understand that we don't know anything about coding, only HTML, CSS. That was our our experience in this business. And yeah, we for 2 years we take some money, we return money from this small startup in IT. But we not continue this idea because in this time was so many businesses who launch CRM systems for Bittrex, for Adines start adapting their systems. And we understand that yeah, we must to find more money to change the system from back size to front size, to adapt it, to multiplicate, and that need time, specialist, and of course money. And we don't have a specialist on this time who's create this idea. Also, we don't want to pay own money with this idea for adopting. And yes, of course, we close this idea, but now that is conservation, this idea conservation, because we understand that we lose our time for create some another projects, ideas, and this don't work so long time, and now maybe not relevant for the business.
Yeah, for now I think it's not a valid idea because we have a lot of companies who provide the same functional, and they have a good community, and they have a huge customers, many customers, and I think it's pretty difficult to run startup in this area.
Yeah, beautiful. But that is our experience.
So it's a good experience. Yeah, you know, some time ago, I faced with a problem. We decided in our main project, we decided organize some small startup, and we started to find some idea for that, and we actually we couldn't find any worst idea, and that's why that way we stopped to try it because we couldn't find any area and any new something new.
But actually, talking about like worst ideas, hello guys. Talking about worst ideas, if we could, if to see, to watch, to practice, it's like every time people could suggest not so like something very new, but just to add some value to the existing products on the market, and it could help you to grow your own business. Just to think what like additional services you could provide together with the product or service you provide, maybe like that. Because there are still a lot of startups around the world in different areas. If we're talking about IT, it also works as well. There are a lot of similar projects but they work, they grow their businesses and so on. So maybe we need to try, and like it would be one day when you could be successful with your startup, because maybe we need to do something. It's better than just thinking and like every time analyzing and worried about risks and so on. Because actually business, it's about risk in most cases. It's not just if you open the business, you would be successful for sure. Even if your product or service is like some like know-how. It could be know-how, but it could be it could don't have any demand among people. How do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, you can find a lot of ideas around us, and we can take one of them and try to make it better than this current. But still, I think better to create a new idea and bring something new than.
Yeah, but actually, like it's like popular phrase, yeah, that we couldn't create the bicycle actually, because in most cases it's just upgrades.
Yeah.
For example, about my experience, who they tell previously, and that was as a result for us, for our business, we cannot find good examples. One is not was good for us because we have different locations for our shops, for points, and we find the best solution how we can work remotely and to control our business. And we find some people who help us to create this system, and this system start working for us for our business. And as a result, we talk about this idea for our partners, for another people who's we meeting, and they tell, wow, good idea, we want to buy it, we want to rent it, and how much we must pay for you. And after that, as that was a natural result, yeah, we create for themselves, but after that people find that is good solution for their business and start paying for us. And we only adapt this system for their businesses and take money. And that was a result, how to say, that is a natural result. We don't planning to sell this, how we must to create, which ideas not having this market. We work as usual and find good solutions for our business. And these solutions was good for another companies. And when we start to create some ideas and to find a solution, for example, we have experience with reflective elements whose reflect light for save yourself on the road, for the foods, for the clothes, and for save children, for save people who's on bicycles. And we start thinking, wow, we don't have this on our market. This will be a good idea, and maybe people agree with us and take care about our idea, and we can grow in. But when we launching this idea, when we spend more money for marketing, we understand that people don't need this. Yes, this is good because you promote this idea, but people don't want to say to bought clothes with reflective elements. They thinking with another way, and we must close this idea too, because that was not popular.
Oh, actually, it's strange because maybe it's like another audience. Because, for example, if I correctly understand their main idea, like reflective elements on the clothes, it could be very popular among people who like cycling, for example. And for travelers maybe, or something like that. Like it's just about another market. Maybe it is needed to search like your audience, if I correctly understand the idea. And actually, talking about to create something new or to add value to some similar solutions. For example, if we could take a look at some global examples of different social networks. For example, it was Facebook, Instagram. They are like have similar idea, but they both very popular among people. Like LinkedIn, it's another. It is also a social network, but with some another idea, but the same functionality, and it also works good today. Actually, there are a lot of solutions. For example, Zoom. Actually, previous years we have Skype. It was more popular and so on. Today, or Google Hangouts, for example. It's like for me, it's something similar actually. And today we use Zoom. Maybe a few months ago, I don't not I hear about it, but I don't use it at all actually. But today it's very popular solution. And there are a lot of different interesting examples of like do something like similar to the existing one. But of course, I understand you, because I also the person who who like, if I want to do something, I need to create something new and something different from another like services and so on the market. Because I don't. But if to analyze the market, actually, it could be like another way to move.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think if you want to create something not new, but if you want to improve something, for this you need a lot of inventor. Because for
You mean investments?
Investments. Because if you really if someone already has implementing of this idea, and they have some customers, and they have some working service. If you want to create something something better, you have to spend a lot of money and time for that, because it's pretty difficult when people was used to use something, and you should give them something better. You should create something really better than they have.
That is very interesting moments when we have people who create some ideas, who launch businesses and trying to do something, and people who's only hear about this and thinking how this must working. And as usual, we have some examples when people have extra money, they save this money, and after that they want to create something. That is creators, for example, who's trying to do something else, additional, what they want, what they thinking about, what they dream about. And these people, as usual, don't have practice. They don't have more money, extra money for launch this idea for 2-3 years, only for launch. And that's all. And these ideas, as usual, don't work because they lose all money, all energy, and that is a good experience for these people because they realize idea, for example, and can say that that was my dreams and I realize these dreams. For example, I can go to Bali or another country and spend this money for this, or I create something what I dreaming about, but yet this not works now, and but I realize myself my idea. That is the first moment. Another moment that we have businessmen who have more money, extra money, and they understand what they need, what for what they want to pay money. Yes, they understand that for growing business they need spend every month donate this business. Previously this business start growing and take money and return investitions after maybe 5 years, but that is very interesting business because now you're not creator, you now a specialist, works as specialist or partner in this business, and you launch another ideas for another investors, and that not same as you launch your idea. But for example, about Svetlana, about the experience with social networks, as you know, this history of these peoples, about Facebook, about Kontakte, maybe you read information about these people, and you find that these people was with good families, with good educational, and they create idea not from the zero. They previously have good parents, good, enough money launch ideas and life for create something. They don't thinking where I must find money for next iteration. That was life for enjoying, and they create something what they want. And after that, when they launch this business, this idea, they find another money, another investors, but not at once. That's a very different situation when you have enough extra money for the life and you can launch something what you want.
But you're talking about risks. If you like talking about the people who have like good background to risk, like if they lost some money, it wouldn't such wait for their life, yeah. But actually, they also could don't get a success with their project and lost money. But of course, they didn't need worry about that because that sums are not very important for them. It's just like yeah, they could like enjoy and don't worry about the result. In our case, we have maybe some similar environment, but we need to take care on the result because we could lose money and don't have enough money to like support our life and our family. Of course, it play a big role in decision making, but we could risk in any case. I suppose that people who risk one day they are more successful than people who take care every day. Actually, I'm not a risky person. I always worried about everything. But if to think and analyze and so on, I suppose it's better approach to be risky and to start create something new and try again, and one day you will be successful. It's like actually talking about practices of like when Google interview the interview guys who want to work with them. They could create a proposal, present a proposal for people who wasn't success before, but they always try and like they have some experience and could go and try again and create something great if they are smart and they like have some targets in their life. I don't know, just thoughts, just a lot of different opinions and so on. I suppose we like I need to analyze a lot of points of views to find some like average solution. And of course, to choose for us if we want to create our own business or we want to help someone with their business, like a part of a team, for example, developer, manager, or or provide some other stuff like engineering or like I don't know, there are a lot of
Svetlana, do you launch any business?
what?
Do you launch any business?
Actually, no. I'm talking about that I'm not risky. I realize that I need to try to understand if that's for me or not, but I always take care of that. It's not good. I understand that I need to try, but I don't know why I couldn't do that still.
What why I ask you, because what you say, that is not works.
Why?
Because all works not logical. And for your business, if you want to launch some idea, you must to do it themselves itself, for your ideas, for your money. If you find some partner with money, you launch this idea and spend all your time, and your partner will invest money in this business. And we have many experience with people who's trying to launch some ideas, and as usual, this works with a family format. When two people works, invest money, invest time, and another people help them, and they have businesses, but they're not growing enough, as we saw in international company as Facebook and in other companies. That is a family business, and yeah, this business works, but only for family, no bigger.
Yeah, but it's also business, and you like rule your own life by yourself. And if you need to grow it, you will grow it. But in most cases, there are a lot of people who don't want to grow and to become like Facebook or something like that. They just want to have enough amount of money to have a good life and to like have the opportunity to support the life of their kids in appropriate level. Actually, because there are a lot of different goals. It just, if you like start business, it doesn't mean that you want to be like a global company. A lot of people feel okay, then they have like small business. That's actually like a lot of different, not a lot of, but different like
For example, you want to find good specialist who's help you in your business, because you don't have time for calculating your budget, and you want only create something, you creator, you good knitting, for example. But you cannot pay for this specialist, because you understand that is maybe 70% of your profit. And if you pay for this specialist, you don't have money. But you, as owner, must to do everything, calculate, to call to find distributors, to control your documents, and you do everything in this small business, and you not have enough money to pay for another specialist who's help you for growing, for change something, and you educate every moment. And now in this life, when we have so fast changes, small businesses cannot adapt at once, because you don't have enough time to learn everything at once. Every loyal documents, every financial standards, and you cannot adapt at once. And you understand that the better way to work for another specialist, for another big company, or to stay and continue do what you like, but that is not give you more energy after sometimes, because you stop and not growing. And many people start close businesses because they not understand why I do this, why I continue doing this, because my idea was to growing, to create something, and to take for my product some money. But you understand that that is not happens.
It's impossible growing in this situation because you spend all your time in in your casual work. You should do something all time, and you cannot think about growing, and you cannot do all work.
Yeah,
I think
that is true, and we must understand that first of all, if we want to realize some idea, that is what we must do: realize this idea and pay for this money, and spend time and money, and after that we can say, I realize. But if you want to grow and to launch big business, and whose will grow, that is another money, another idea, and calculation and experience. That is something, another atmosphere. I don't know how to say this, but that is business practice. That not a startup practice.
Okay, guys, we're like almost out of time, so we can decide now what we're going to do tomorrow. So if you have any ideas what we can discuss, let's think about tomorrow.
I think tomorrow, when we start, we can find a solution, which topic we find.
Yeah, and I also said that startup idea, regarding startup ideas, I also try to be implemented in some of those kind of things. That it's like it's good experience, by the way, when you pitching, when you're trying to attract some money, when you're trying to convince about your idea. Yeah, it's really interesting experience. But for the same time, it's needs a lot of time, so you cannot like have full-time job and have a startup. You either focus on your full-time job, either focus on your startup, because startup is also kind of full-time and even more time that you need to invest. Because if you not do it in time, if you're not doing it as quick as possible, then you must probably lose the competition. Someone else from other part of the world will realizing maybe the same idea like you. So you have like the competitive advantages to do it as quick as possible and focus on this. And anyway, you will receive amazing experience. And if even you like failed your startup anyway, you will be ready to work for corporation, but now like a product owner, like a mini CEO. So anyway, to have a startup is good, good school. That's my idea. Yeah, good. Now it's 10 o'clock. So guys, thank you for your participation. It was really interesting that you're so engaged, so involved in this discussion.
Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.